Hello, everybody, and thank you so much for attending my session. My name is Dr. Leah Hollis. I'm a visiting professor from Rutgers University, New Brunswick, New Jersey, United States. The title of my presentation is Enablers or Allies, Qualitative Content Analysis of Human Resources Regarding Workplace Bullying in American Higher Education. Just a little bit about me. I've been speaking on this issue for over a decade now, visiting places like Alamo Community Colleges, the California State System. I've been on NPR and spoke for the American Council of Education. Also, the material I'm presenting today is part of an upcoming book from Routledge to be released in May 2020, examining the structural problems related to workplace bullying in American higher education. So let me start out with Ironson's definition. Workplace bullying means harassing, offending, socially excluding someone, or negatively affecting someone's work tasks. This behavior occurs repeatedly and regularly over a period of time. Ironson says about 6 months of this kind of behavior to determine if bullying is going on. I know American audience often say, I don't need 6 months to realize I'm being bullied. But it is to say that this behavior is not a one-off, someone stole your parking spot or locked your door one day and being absent-minded. It is a specific and very clear set of behaviors that escalate over time. So, is human resources the problem in American higher education? A number of workplace bullying scholars attribute much of the institutional problem to untrained or inert human resources personnel. Gary Namey from the Workplace Bullying Institute in the state of Washington has explicitly stated, in referring to a study of 1,300 respondents, that 51% said human resources did nothing when people reported very painful workplace bullying. Also, Cohen from 2012 offers that targets often see human resources as the employee advocate, the champion, but this role conflicts with the charge for human resources to protect the arm of management. From the target's perspective, those who typically experience very little relief from workplace bullying, and usually the relief comes if the target leaves or if the bully leaves. Human resources have been put in that role to be the employee champion, but fall short of that goal because, well, the organization hasn't charged them to take that on. What targets of workplace bullying may overlook, and of course, because given the trauma targets face when being bullied, but there's still this common fact that gets overlooked that any employee must be empowered by their boss to pursue a specific issue. So if you think about it, professors are charged with conducting research. The development officer is charged with raising a certain amount of money. Even somebody who works with those with disabilities is charged by federal statute. And I will say in the United States, we do not have a federal statute that prohibits workplace bullying. It is still considered legal. So all of these things led to the question, are HR directors charged with stopping bullying on their respective campuses? Some colleges and universities have developed anti-bullying policies. However, for human resources personnel, including ombudspeople, the leadership must sanction engagement in this problem. However, there is this mercurial application of workplace bullying policy if they do happen to exist. There's favoritism that goes on, it creates skepticism. Nobody really wants to define workplace bullying. So there are inconsistencies too, which I would argue are still part of the structure. And here we go with the structure. Theoretically, I look at the organizational structure. And this is Bowman and Deal's structural theory. And it should be that the staff and the policies and everybody is coordinated to address the problem. But Between management, leadership, deans, directors, provosts, and HR, there is not a concerted and strategic effort to end workplace bullying. And HR tends to be the scapegoat. Here are some examples from industry in the United States. So Kodak films, and I remember those big flash cubes that came out. Well, the reason why they met their demise is they did not plan as an institution to go from silver film to digital film. In fact, they had the digital film technology first. Bethlehem Steel, and I'm an old steel town kid, grew up in Western Pennsylvania. Bethlehem Steel was huge, building a warship a day during World War II. But they did not keep up with what's called mini milling, which was amazingly cheaper. They lost their market share, and this huge industry filed bankruptcy in the early 2000s. Even more recently, if we look at the brickle-brackle response that the United States has had for COVID, we did not have a strategic nationwide response to the virus. Therefore, different states were doing different things. It resulted in 18.6 million cases of COVID in the United States at the time of this presentation, and over 328,000 deaths. So all of this to say is higher education fails to plan for prevention. Less than 30% of the institutions that I have surveyed over the years have a policy explicitly prohibiting workplace bullying. Without a clear policy, human resources can't address the problem. Without support from leadership, the problem just festers and is not taken seriously. And the ombudsperson also needs those policies to operate, even to confidentially resolve matters. But without policy built into the structure, into the strategy of the institution, workplace bullying just does not get resolved. And yes, as I'd said before, bullying is legal in the United States. We have some statutes in various states, California, Maryland, Tennessee, but they are not actionable on their own. But if you get a target who can stitch the very bad workplace bullying behaviors to their protected class status, to their civil rights status, which in the United States, we do have civil rights laws, they can turn a bullying incident into a payout. And it's not an easy thing. It's really not that simple. One example is Microsoft had to pay $2 million for the acting with malice and reckless indifference. Walmart had to pay $150,000 to a complainant who endured bullying and teasing. So let's move on to my study and how human resources comments on workplace bullying. This is a qualitative content analysis. The research question is, what are the common insights that human resources personnel offer in regard to workplace bullying on their respective campuses? The data collection occurred in 2019. The survey included a question at the end: what else would you offer about workplace bullying in higher education? Of the 215 HR professionals who answered the survey, 96 offered open-ended comments, and those comments are the subject of this qualitative content analysis. So I had 4 emergent themes from this data. And to become a theme, there had to be a minimum of 25% needed to comment on an issue for me to determine it was a theme. So theme number 1, leadership is the issue. This is based on 53 of 96 HR professionals. So 55% stated this. With over half of human resources personnel responding, they said that leadership is a critical element in stopping or enabling workplace bullying. So if executive administration, supervisors, and managers do not take workplace abuse seriously, it just proliferates across the campus. And so here are 2 representative comments. Top leaders tend to want to sweep it under the rug because it reflects poorly on the president. Or very frustrating when upper management does not care and will not hold employees accountable. These are the voices of HR personnel. Second theme, lacking training. This is based on 38 of 96 respondents, which is 39.5%. And this theme identifies a major deficiency in training as a problem. Based on these comments, human resources personnel understand the problem and that those in power need regular training to address this problem. Some of the comments: there's a need for continual training and refresher workshops. And also, they are ill-informed on and do not want to know the severity of workplace bullying. Moving on to theme number 3, reflection on law and policy. 26 of 96 people responded to this or made a comment about this, which is 27%. Human resources professionals confirm that the law is lacking in the prevention of workplace bullying. And without the law, the organization often does not consider workplace bullying as a serious problem. So in the United States, if you walk into the human resources director's office and say, I'm being harassed because of I'm a woman, because of my race, age, gender, I already said that, national origin, color, HR is charged by the law to look into abuse, harassment, discrimination that's based on the civil rights protected classes in the United States. However, if somebody does not launch a complaint invoking explicitly one of those protected classes, in the United States, it's considered bullying, and HR is not charged to deal with that. Some of the comments about the law: there needs to be a protocol for anti-bullying in the workplace, just as there is in K-12 schools. So in the United States, all 50 states have laws on the books prohibiting bullying of K-12 students between each other or what have you. No bullying in school. However, when you go to college, those protections are not there. And when you go on into the workplace, still again, those protections are not there. Another HR respondent said, similarly, a respondent commented that bullying is tough to address unless protected status is involved. And that's what I've been chatting about for the last couple minutes. Theme number 4, the abuse and misuse of tenure. Now, I am tenured at my home institution at Morgan State University, so I enjoy the protections of tenure. However, when faculty do and say whatever they want, they have misinterpreted academic freedom. Academic freedom is to protect our intellectual activities, the movies we watch, the books we read, without persecution. However, it does not give people the license to call somebody out of their name. These HR people are saying it's especially salient among faculty depending on the rank. Junior faculty are typically the victim, and faculty by far are the worst bullies. Other comments include, in addition, faculty who bring in large grants, conduct high-profile research, are well respected in their field, and apparently have license to be bullies if they choose. The most prevalent amongst tenured faculty, and the tenured faculty bully other staff and administrators. And so this is from the Voices of Human Resources, and they are not academics. However, from their perspective, tenure is misused in these contexts. But once again, as with previous studies that I've conducted, leadership is the issue. These findings confirm that leadership is the great equalizer or enabler in addressing workplace bullying in American higher education. In fact, enablers do not just condone the bullying behavior, they give rise to a network of bullies who work in tandem to destroy the target. There needs to be an intervention to stop that. And without active intervention to halt destructive colleagues, bullies infiltrate the culture, exacerbate turnover, create health problems, and is grossly expensive. So based on the comments and the findings, there are recommendations that I would offer to address this problem. First, train upper level administrators, faculty, and staff, preferably in separate groups, as they have unique positions, but they need to be trained to understand the severity of workplace bullying. Second recommendation, colleges and universities often recognize their risk for financial problems and enrollment trends. So if you conduct a cost analysis on how much time and money is wasted dealing with bullies, In previous studies, I have found upwards to $9,600 a year per person, or 5 weeks a year per person. Those are costs that colleges and universities can certainly recoup. Recommendation number 3. In 2018, NIH, the National Institutes of Health here in the United States, issued a statement not just about facilities, but any institution that receives NIH grants. If you are caught being a sexual harasser, it can interfere with your future ability to receive grants. The same kind of process could occur for grants and bullying, and so junior faculty and graduate assistants could have a way to report abusive behavior while working on an NIH grant, even if it's not in an NIH facility. So this is my study. And what I really found out, of course, is that HR is not the miscreant we think they are. They are part of a structural system that either supports bullying or enables bullying. And like any other employee in an American higher education, that HR person needs to be charged explicitly by their leadership to take care of workplace bullying. If you have any questions, please feel free to write me at leah.hollis@gse.rutgers.edu. Thank you so much for your time today.